Blast your way to the nearest Amazon Prime account because we have Sylvester Stallone's greatest performance since Judge Dredd.
It's a lie! The evidence has been falsified! It's impossible! I never broke the law! I am the law!
Samaritan is a superhero action film with a big twist that many won't see coming.
Of course I knew! I just had no idea!
So come with me as we take a look at this new film, and I promise there will be more Stallone quotes.
Oh, is this the part where I'm supposed to be scared?
Samaritan is set in the fictitious Granite City, with Atlanta, Georgia the actual filming location. Samaritan tells the story of a washed-up superhero hiding from his past. This is Joe Smith, and no, you can't make up a more generic name than that. He's a garbage man who holds an insanely unhealthy amount of ice cream in his fridge. We'll get to why that is in a bit. Joe has a secret past, one which, if discovered, could turn his quiet life upside down. That's where we meet Joe's neighbor, Sam Cleary, the same actor who played Ashtray from the HBO series Euphoria and Stan in the latest season of The Umbrella Academy. It's no coincidence that his name is Sam and the movie is called Samaritan, as Sam becomes the pivotal character in helping Joe overcome his past. Actually, both characters end up helping each other, each becoming Samaritans in their own way. But to really understand how this film ends and its big twist, we have to set the stage on how Joe went from beloved superhero to what I will eventually become, an old man alone making YouTube videos in his basement. Please take me back, Stephanie. Joe and his twin brother grew up with superhuman strength and the ability to heal extremely fast. It's never explained how they got these powers, but that's besides the point. Their powers so worried the local townsfolk that they gathered like the crazed mob from Beauty and the Beast, locked the kids in their home, and set it ablaze, killing their non-superhero parents in the process. This is the event that turns the two brothers against each other. One of them becomes Samaritan, a righteous superhero who uses his powers to fight for justice, while his twin Nemesis uses them for revenge, to get back at those who have wronged them. In this way, Nemesis becomes a symbol for the downtrodden, a symbol to stand up against systems of oppression, even if it means through violence. Granite City becomes the perfect backdrop for this because of the city's unrest. Working class folk either can't find work or are terribly underpaid. Sam's mother can barely make ends meet with her job as a nurse, and even gets evicted for a brief time when she can't pay the bills. An event which forces Sam to seek out dangerous jobs, including stealing copper wire and getting involved with a local gang leader named Cyrus. Cyrus is a huge believer in Nemesis's cause. For Cyrus, Samaritan was a superhero who propped up the status quo and defended the rich elites. To him, Samaritan was
just another cop to protect the rich while the rest of us went hungry.
But Nemesis was the guy fighting for the common folk, a guy ready to start a revolution for the downtrodden to rise up. His obsession with Nemesis is what spurs him to break into the police department's evidence locker and reclaim his legendary hammer, a hammer forged with all of Nemesis's hate and apparently the only weapon that can damage him and his brother. But what happened to Samaritan and Nemesis? Where are they in present-day Granite City? If you believe the official reports, the two battled it out at a power plant where a giant explosion took both their lives, but as we'll find out, that's not exactly how it went down. Sam is obsessed with Samaritan, believing, along with local bookshop and Samaritan conspiracy theorist Albert Kassler, that Samaritan still lives. When Sam is saved by Joe from a group of local thugs and witnesses his strength and ability to crush a knife with his bare hands, he knows that Joe is Samaritan. The two form an unlikely friendship, and I like to think that Joe, who grew up without a father, sees a bit of himself in Sam, who also doesn't have a father. He'll later tell Sam how lucky he is for having a mom that cares for him. Joe lost both of his parents. Even Joe's hobby, fixing broken things, is a metaphor for his life. He believes people, like the objects he repairs, deserve a second chance.
Now fixing them, that helps me relax and focus, and I figure some of these old things deserve a second chance.
Sam watches Joe miraculously heal after being run over by a car, solidifying that Joe is Samaritan. But we also see how Joe's powers come with their own limitations. Every time he takes a huge beating, whether it be from a car or gang members pummeling him with lead, his body overheats. If he doesn't cool down quickly, his heart will literally explode. This is why he has a fridge jam-packed with ice cream. It helps him cool down. So when Cyrus finds out that Samaritan is still still alive after Joe saves the life of a young girl and is caught on camera, Cyrus uses Sam as bait to lure Samaritan to the local power plant to finish what Nemesis started. I also think it's no coincidence that Cyrus wants to, quote, bring power back to the people by literally turning off the power. He's acquired these blackout bombs which shut down any and all electronics, which he'll use in an attempt to get the city to rise up against its oppressive ruling class. So Joe, who was moments away from leaving town after his identity was discovered, has a change of heart, coming back to save the kid he's developed an unlikely friendship with. He uses his garbage truck to ram into Cyrus's base and makes quick work of most of his men, their bullets doing absolutely no damage to his body. But Cyrus has Samaritan's only weakness, Nemesis's hammer. He's able to get the upper hand on Joe, but not before we're hit with the film's big twist. Joe isn't Samaritan, he's actually Nemesis. Years ago, when Samaritan and Nemesis battled it out at the power plant, Samaritan had the opportunity to finish Nemesis once and for all, instead choosing to spare his life. Just like Joe gave these old electronics a second chance, so too did Samaritan to Nemesis, a chance for him to become better. Unfortunately, Samaritan falls through the roof of the power plant, and despite Nemesis's best efforts to save him, he plummets to his death. In this moment, Nemesis decides to throw both masks into the fire and live a life of solitude. He has lost everyone close to him. By saving Sam from the clutches of Cyrus, it gives Joe a path to redemption and proves that Joe can change.
You can fix that. You can change.
Everybody can change.
He doesn't have to be the villain anymore. In the film's climax, Joe defeats Cyrus and Sam is interviewed by reporters. He could have told them the truth, that Nemesis still lives, but instead tells him that Samaritan lives and saved his life, thus completing Joe's journey from villain to hero. Joe is seen hiding in the crowd, hinting that he'll be heading back into a life of solitude. I mean, he could have come out and had the crowd praise him for his heroic efforts as Samaritan, but that's just not who Joe is. So while Sam may have gotten more screen time than Joe in this movie, our protagonist is actually Joe. He's the character that goes through the most change throughout the film. Ultimately, I thought the film didn't bring much new to the genre. It took too long for Sam and Joe's relationship to build, and the villain's goal should have had more personal stakes. I actually thought it would have been way more compelling if Cyrus was Nemesis's son, and part of why he wants to kill Samaritan is believing Samaritan killed his father. Just think how crazy that twist would then be when Cyrus finds out his dad has been alive this whole time. Alas, Hollywood doesn't pay me the big bucks, but I want to hear your thoughts on Samaritan. Is this a superhero dud or one you'd recommend? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to like and subscribe, and for more bad takes, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ThinkStoryYT. Until next time, remember,
Glad you could drop in.